Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I do have a book review to talk about, and I just finished today The Will of the Many. I was really excited to read this one because I love the author's other trilogy, which is the Lucanus trilogy. I know a lot of people have some mixed feelings on that one, but I really enjoy it. And I feel like it's one, too, that you kind of have to read twice to really enjoy it because there's so much going on. It's kind of convoluted. But I will say, there are some weak points in that series, especially with maybe some of the pacing, and they're just I can see where there's some reasons why people might not like it, but I liked it, and this book has none of those problems in my opinion. The pacing is amazing in this book, and the tension is so high. I couldn't put this book down. And this book, it's so good. It's better than I thought it would be. Because when I first read the premise, I was just like, oh, okay. I was kind of indifferent. I mainly read this because I know that, the author with his other books, and I liked those ones so much. So I was like, I'll give this one a try. And it was on sale on Kindle, so I was, really excited to try it out. I'm so glad I did. It was so good. I'm so excited to have read it. But now I am agonizingly waiting for the next book. So there's that. But it was so good, and I recommend it so much. I loved it. I really did. The pacing is just so good. And unlike the Lucanus trilogy, that one has a ton of point of views. This one only follows one. It's the main character. It's Vis. He is the main point of view, the main character. You're just getting inside his head, which is good because it makes it, more, it doesn't feel so convoluted and everything going on. So, because the Lucanus trilogy, you're switching so many point of views. At times, you kind of forget what's going on with some of the characters, and that gets really frustrating at times. And so this one, it's kind of nice to just, after each chapter, you're still following the same person. You're getting the resolutions for what's going on. It just flows really well. And I loved this book. I really did. And I'm so sad it's done. I needed it to be the size of War and Ruin because that book was huge. I needed it to be the size of that. This one was so good, and I need the other books to be out. I'm asking for a lot, I know. So talking about it a little bit, the main character is Vis, which that's not his real name. But, not that that's a secret or anything, but it's Diago. But he was orphaned due to the, I'm probably not going to say it right, so I'm just going to say the Republic, taking over his island. So the world building, it actually feels very Roman, which I kind of liked. But the way they dress, the buildings, they kind of have this theater, Colosseum area too. Their ideals, they want to take over pretty much all these other little small kingdoms and everything. They want to be the ones in charge. They're the civilized ones. So it's a very Roman feel, and I like that a lot. I thought that was a pretty good twist. I didn't realize that was going to be in there. So I did like that world building feel. But they're all about conquering everyone. And Vis's family was the rulers of one of these little islands, and the Republic came and pretty much took out the royal family and wanted to civilize that island. So he escaped. He is now an orphan. He is trying to survive, and lucky for him, one of the Senate members, who's pretty high up in the hierarchy, which is the name of the group, and it is kind of this hierarchy. He takes him in and he adopts him, but it's mainly because Vis has a lot of potential. He's very smart. He's a good fighter. He's very cunning. But also because he's expendable. Because there's going to be a lot of risk involved. And so this person adopting him doesn't really care if he lives or not. And he wants him to go through this academy, which is for all the elites. Children that are going to eventually become rulers if they are high enough in this school. But there's something kind of dark going on in this school. There's some secrets going on. And so his adopted father wants to know what's going on. So he has Vis in there to try to maybe uncover some of these secrets. So there's a lot of risk if this screws up. But he also needs to essentially be the top at this academy. So he has a lot of challenges against him and a lot of expectations and a lot of risk. And that's the main thing with this book is the tension is so high. Like, I normally read to relax and I just kind of want to like chill, but this book did not allow me to relax. I was always so stressed out. I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to take some years off my life. No, I'm just kidding. It was actually still pretty good. I loved it and I hated it because I hated the stress, but I also loved that I couldn't put the book down because it was just so good. And the only time I really did put the book down was when it was just like, okay, I don't want anything to happen to the characters right now. I need to just put it away because if I don't read it, nothing happens. But eventually I just, got back to reading it because it was so good. But once I started again, I couldn't put it down. It was just like this huge cycle of a problem. It was really good. But when Vis enters the academy, you get more of that kind of school setting, which I like that in books. I think it's kind of fun. So you get like Vis learning, he's fighting, he's making friends and enemies and sneaking around, trying to figure out what's going on. So there's a lot of tension going on. And so it's pretty good. And he does make some friends. And I like the friends. I like the side characters, especially Kaladin and Aiden. I don't know. But they're really good side characters, and I like them. They're the outcasts, and he befriends them. And Vis, he's just a good character. He's always trying to stick with his moral ground. He's trying to always do the right thing that's in his mind, even if it's against what the hierarchy wants, because he hates the hierarchy because, they took over his homeland. So he's trying to continue the ideals that his real father instilled in him to eventually be a ruler. So he's always trying to do the right thing. So he's befriending, these social outcasts because they're actually good people. And then he's also able to gain the respect of the other people too, because he is good at what he does. But he never sells his value. Just like how he will never use, will, which will is kind of like their magic system. It's a little odd. I don't know how much I want to go through trying to explain it because it's kind of a confusing thing, but think of kind of like a pyramid because you have like these people at the top, and the higher at the top you are, the more will you have, which will is kind of like almost like the strength and drive of the people that they kind of like sap from them, I guess you could say. But the higher up you are, the more access to that you have. And the lower you are, the less you do. So you kind of, like, on the bottom, you're not strong at all. Where at the top, you can be, extremely strong. Like, there's some people where they can, like, pick up a tree and, like, throw it. So, I mean, it's a weird kind of system. But you can also imbue items with will. So, like, they can also, like, it is kind of like a magic kind of thing. But there's only so much of it. And certain people only have so much of it or even access to it. So it's a weird kind of system, but it keeps the people, I guess, at the top that they want to keep at the top. But at the academy, no one is supposed to be using it, so it doesn't affect Vis in that way when he's there. But he does come into contact with it, when he's out of the academy or during certain other times. So it's not really a huge deal in this book. I mean, I could see it becoming more so in maybe the later ones, but where they can't have it at the school, you don't really interact with it quite as much. They're mainly learning about it. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of an interesting, but that's why you get the will of the many. So it's kind of like will is used in a different way. Because I thought that title was kind of confusing when I first saw it, but then it like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, so while Vis is at school, the school actually has different levels. And there's 7 levels. And the 7th level is the lowest, and then he needs to work, that's where he starts, and he needs to work his way to the top. And the higher up you are, the more essentially job prospects you have. So like if he wants to be essentially a member of like the Senate or something, he would need to be more like 3 and 4, I think. I don't know. I'm not completely proficient in their levels in their government there, but that's his main goal, is to get to the top and to, win against everyone else. But to get up there, you have to essentially, it's not like you can just, oh, I'm really good at this, so I'm going to make my way up to class 6 or 5. You almost have to replace someone. So if you are, getting moved to class 5, someone's getting moved down to class 6. So it is very competitive, and it can be kind of cutthroat at times, because sometimes the way to eliminate someone is to actually eliminate that person. So that you have been eliminated from life. But so that's kind of, there's a little bit of, some of that risk going on there. But there's that's kind of cool how they do that. And Vis does move up pretty quickly. So that he does a good job of keeping up with everyone. But yeah, so like I mentioned, this book it's pretty high tension, and I definitely recommend it. But like I said, now I am agonizingly waiting for the next one. And this, of course, ended on some cliffhanger questions and revelations that I'm just like, I have to know what's going on. But now I have to wait. I need answers. I need them, but I can't. So ideally, I would recommend you wait to read when all the books are out, but I don't want to recommend that because I want you to be able to, maybe write some comments or chat with me on how you are waiting as well and how much you like this. So I want you to read this because it's really good. I have to have people to talk about this with. So I would say wait, but no, I don't think you should wait. I think you should be as in much torture waiting as I am. So it was really good. Definitely better than what I expected. 100% recommend, especially if you like more of that engaging, thrilling, fantasy kind of story. And I liked that Roman feel. So I really enjoyed this, and I hope you do too. And because I'm sure you'll read this now with my glowing recommendation. But I hope you do like it if you do read it. But thanks for watching.